Yo, yo, yo. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is having a fantastic Thursday. What I'd like to do right as we're starting here is just do a little bit of a sound check to make sure that everybody can hear me good and that all systems are working. And yeah, just give me some fire emojis or some thumbs up emojis if you're excited for this and if you guys can hear me well. And we can then get going. What I'm gonna do is open up this iPad so you guys can see my iPad screen. Awesome. Sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. So today we're talking about how I structure my editing team to pump out 50 creatives a week for my e-commerce business, right? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to go pretty deep into this. So I recommend if you do have some type of note taking, whether it's on paper or whether you want to open up a Google Doc, write some notes down. I think this is all really valuable stuff. This is what has allowed us to stay consistent with our e-commerce brand. And this is what has allowed us to scale very aggressively last December to almost $1 million in revenue in last December. This is all from the system that we are going to be talking about today. So let's talk about what we're going to be covering. First and foremost, we are going to be talking about my formula for pumping out 50 ads a week for my e-commerce brand. We're then going to talk about how you can recreate this formula for yourself and for your brand. And then I'm going to talk about how I structure my team to execute this formula on a weekly basis. If that's super interesting for you guys, I hope you stick to the end. Let's hop into it. The formula, right? So what is the formula for pumping out a fuck ton of content, right? The formula for pumping out a fuck ton of content is actually very simple. You want to take ideas and you want to turn these ideas into scripts, into copy, into something that you can use to have further direction for your ad creation. You want to now take that and create some footage, shoot B-roll, get the UGC footage created. And then you want to take that, all of that together and get that edited. And let's actually write this formula down so you guys have something more to work with than other than me just writing, other than me just speaking this out. So the formula is going to boil down to idea plus script plus footage plus edit equals ad, right? At the very core of us being able to produce any type of content at any scale, any type of ads at any scale, this is the formula that we are going to need to follow. This is the formula that we need to build a system in order to be able to test and identify creatives that work. All right? So that's the very first thing I wanted to cover, and I want to start diving into this. So let's talk about ideas, right? Let's talk about ideas. How do you get ideas for these ads? How do I get ideas for the ads that we create? The easiest way to create ideas and to get ideas is to see what is working for other people. Right? And I want you guys to write that down because this is the biggest cheat code for identifying working content for e-commerce. And I'll write it down here as well. What is working for others? Now, how do we identify what is working for others? There's multiple ways, and let's talk about them. First one that I covered before already is called PP ads. On PP ads, you can identify what other people are running and where other people are spending their money. If you have not seen the video about this, you can go to my YouTube channel. You can also go to ecom.live, and there's a bunch of content there on how I approach this exact research strategy for inspiration. Second inspiration strategy is on Foreplay. Foreplay is a piece of software that allows you to identify what other e-commerce companies are running. You can go to Discovery and you can identify a lot of different brands running a lot of different ads. This can give you a lot of different inspiration, right? And you want to identify what is applicable to your brand and what is going to be the easiest to recreate for your brand. All right? That's another one. Third one is the Facebook ad library. Super slept on. Every single one of you guys that is currently watching this should have a creative inspiration list on your Chrome, on your wherever. You should have an area that you can go through, that you can see different competitors over the course of time, that you can be like, okay, well, I want to see what, Icon Amsterdam is running. Well, this is not particularly a competitor to myself, but if somebody's running a clothing brand, and wants to see what these guys are running, this is a great way to get inspiration. These guys are huge. They're running 3,600 ads. They're printing money. What does that mean? That means their ads are working. What does that mean? That means that you can learn from those and you can recreate those in your own way. You see where I'm going with it? To be able to have a high output of content. So that's why my absolute favorite way to approach the ideation stage or the idea stage of the formula that we're talking about right now, right? The formula of idea, script, footage, edit, right? My favorite way for approaching the idea stage is to identify what's working for others. And over time, as you build a list, as you identify, okay, I have this competitor and that competitor. Well, I can tell you guys, Fabulove, these guys are a great company to get ideas for gifting. Absolutely great, because they're very gifting centric. Look, surprise her with our preserved rose bundle, right? Great company that I go to and I look for, okay, if I'm working on a gifting angle, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna see what's working for them, right? Perfect. So what you want to do is you want to pick a day each week, guys. Every single week, sit down for a few hours and identify some inspiration, right? Identify some inspiration, and then start taking that inspiration and start identifying, how can you recreate that? How can this ad right here be applicable for your brand? You see where I'm going with it? Now I'll give you guys a live example here. So, one piece of inspiration that I used, this is way back last year, is from a company called Love and Crafted. These guys, I got the inspiration from this piece of content here that has a piece of copy that's emotional at the top that says, "She cried reading this," that hits them in the emotion. And then it has two very short sentences that say, "This ring stands for the highs and lows in life. Wear it as a reminder that I will be there for you through them all." I saw this and I was like, I like it. So what I did is I sat down one Monday and I rewrote some of this copy to match one of my products that I sell. And what did I come up with? I'll show you. I came up I came up with this. Now I want you guys to look at this. And I want you guys to see what I mean by recreate. Because I didn't completely, change everything and you do all this crazy stuff. No. I took what was working for them and I made it applicable for my brand. And that is at the core of what we're doing here, at the very beginning, right? Before we even get to talking about editing, before we even start talk about structure on editing, I want you guys to all understand that this section right here, the idea and scripting section, is ridiculously important to do, and to do it right, and to do it in the easiest way you can. And the easiest way I've been able to identify that has worked for me very, very well, for consistently works well for me, is identifying what works for other people and recreating it myself. And you can see here how I recreated this is applicable to my product. This necklace symbolizes the love you share with your dog. Wear it as a reminder that nothing in this world can separate you. You see? You see how I approach that? This ad right here, if we copy this ID, we go here, we paste it, we look at ads. We look at ads that have this ID in there. In my ad account. This ad has spent $16,000 to generate me $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I want to even bet more because the names changed. I use them in different types of campaigns and etc. Point I want to make is that it all started from this inspiration. Everybody following? Good. I like to pick a day each week to sit down and to do this and to identify 20 unique ideas. Right? Let's go back here. I want you guys to pick a day. It doesn't matter what day it is. Pick a day every single week to come up with 10 to 20 ideas. Unique ideas that you can use to create variations as well. Perfect. Next, you need to build a system for collecting content footage. Right? Before you can edit anything, before your editors or your future editors can edit absolutely anything, you need to be able to collect some footage for them to use. And guys, not stealing content from your competitors, not ripping their footage and throwing it into CapCut or having your editors throwing it into CapCut. That is the easiest way to get banned. I have every other day people asking me, why did I get banned on TikTok? Or why did I get banned on Facebook? When we just dive into a little bit, they're using ripped content. They get reported. It's a copyright violation. You get your account taken down. Easiest way to get banned is by using other people's footage. So instead, don't be lazy. Don't be cheap. If you're trying to run a business, run it right. Buy your product, right? Buy it from Amazon or from China. It doesn't matter as long as it looks similar enough. Take this, which every single one of you guys has, right? Get a light, right? See this thing right here? This like $100 and some. You don't have to go crazy. You don't even have to buy that. You can buy a small ring light that you put on your phone that costs $20. Or you can go outside to where the sun does the lighting for you. And you can record some quality content that you can use to now create your ads. That is your next step. That is when we're going, back into here. Look, the formula we talked about ideas, right? We talked about ideas already. We talked about script a little bit. We can touch more on that if you guys would like. Footage. You guys need to collect footage before you can do anything. Every single week, every single week, I have Wednesdays blocked off for content creation. I have like a 2-hour block where I am literally taking my products, guys. Like I'm taking my products and I'm recording them. I'm shooting content with them. I'm going to my local college and saying, hey guys, I find a female, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give you $50 for an hour of your time. That's huge for a college student. Bring her to outdoor, go to a park, have her hold the product up, shoot it, shoot the product with her holding it, have her say some stuff, right? Like you can create content in-house for ridiculously cheap, and there's no excuses for you not to be able to. What do you do after that? We edit and we put together the ad. Now I'm gonna before I dive into editing, I'm gonna go back to scripting a little bit. Just because I know that this is gonna be beneficial for a lot of you guys. How do I approach scripting? I like to look at, first things first, I like if I'm recreating an ad, right? If I'm literally recreating a piece of content, I am going to sit down and I'm going to write the script out, write their script out, right? So let's write that down. Here. Write out competitors' script, right? What does this allow you to do? This allows you to analyze it and to identify how you can incorporate your brand, your product into that script. And I'm not talking about just switching like a word or two, but I'm talking about identify how can you change this copy to work for you. And I'm literally going to sit down and write one version, and then write a second version, and then write a third version, and then write a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th version, right? If you want to watch me do this, again, ecom.live. There's videos of me doing this where I'm script writing in front of you. It's free. That's how I approach script writing. Sitting down and writing, guys. It's not like, look at their script, your competitor's script, rewrite it to match your product. The next one you write, ask yourself this question. I'm gonna write it down. I want you guys to write it down as well. How can I make it better? Every time you write a variation, try to make it better. Right? You do this and you're going to see that your next piece of content and your third piece of content and your fourth piece of content are going to be improving because you're trying to improve them. If you guys are just throwing shit at a wall with your content and you're scratching your heads and wondering why it doesn't work, why do you think it doesn't work? Right? Like, you have to actually approach this stuff with some thought behind it, with some strategy. Right? Okay. Again, if you want more on the scripting, I can make a separate video about that on YouTube. You can hop into the Discord. We can talk about it. You can go to Ecom Live. You can watch me script right live. That's up to you guys. Let's talk about editing. How do I approach editing? Well, I can tell you that for the last probably 3 years, it wasn't until really this last year, it wasn't until 2023 that I started building an editing team. Up until then, and what I'm going to recommend to you guys, to every single one of you guys, the 28 of you right now in here, is to learn to edit. Why? Why? Let me tell you why. Because how can you grade your editor's work if you can't edit? How can you look at the editor's edit and say this is a good edit if you don't fucking know how to edit and you don't know what a good edit looks like? Right? So, since I started puppering till last year, I was editing this content. Yes, your first few pieces are gonna suck, but that's okay. Why is that okay? Because if you follow this formula, which I am giving you guys, you are going to be using winning variables that are working already, that are proven for your competitors. And if you try to recreate this as close as you can using your footage, right? Using your footage, but you try to recreate this as close as you can, there's going to be a high probability of that piece of content potentially performing for you. Okay. And yes, I don't mean basic. I mean, you can do basic editing in CapCut. You can, but it needs to work. It needs to match. If you're recreating a piece of content and it has, some text and then the text transitions to a different shot or whatnot, it doesn't matter what editing software you use, as long as it follows that same formula and follows the same style. That's how I approach it. Let's circle back to team. Because a lot of you guys, some of you guys, hopefully, are at a spot where you have some budget and you can start hiring a team. Right? So, how does my team look like? For puppering.com, we have a team of 3 editors excluding myself. So, besides myself, we have 3 editors. Debatably 4, 3 full-time editors. These 3 editors can pump out 3 to 5 pieces of content a day, each. 3 to 5 pieces of content a day with 3 editors is going to result between 9 to 15 pieces of content being created and edited a day. You can see how we get to 50 a week, right? Now, how do I structure this? How should you potentially structure it? I'll share with you guys that, right? And this is the first time I'm actually sharing this publicly anywhere. We use Asana. We use Asana to structure our entire editing team. We use Asana to put concepts in. We use Asana to create an ecosystem where our editors can thrive, where each week they have work that is edited, that is reviewed by the lead editor, and then that is reviewed by me as a final review, and that is then taken and published to media buy with. We have this system built in Asana. Now let me break it down. Let me explain to you guys how I do this. Each week, I sit down with Miguel. Who's Miguel? Miguel is my lead editor. He's the first hire I made for our editing team. He has been with my team for a good part of a little over a year now, right? Miguel's amazing. He knows how to edit. He knows what works for us. And each week I sit down with Miguel and both of us do this. Both of us identify what is working for other people and how we can recreate it. And then my job is to ensure that my team has the footage and the resources needed to make that happen. Each week, Miguel, in the to assign folder and in the to assign section, creates the next concepts for the team to create. Let's open one of these. This one here is from November. Let me actually see if I can find a good example here. Let's actually use one that we're currently doing. I think that's going to be more beneficial for you guys. Let's do here. Okay. Perfect. I want you guys to take a look at this. This here's a project that Miguel assigned to Gonzalo, who's one of our editors. Inside the project, it's very simple. We're saying we're recreating the inspiration content using the same music or something similar. Let's try to follow the sequence of the inspiration ad. What is that? That is exactly what I just told you guys in the formula, right? Like I'm not bullshitting around the corner or doing something different here. This is what I do. We give a piece of inspiration. Where does this inspiration link to? Foreplay, that we just covered. Rewind back if you missed it. If there's additional information needed, it is put here. If we need voiceovers or content collected, if we need scripts, if we have multiple variations, I like to create between 2 to 3 variations for the content we create. Here we have copy. This is copy that we are using, that we are changing from the original ad in our recreation. And what happens? Well, the editor goes down and starts to do the work. This is given to him. He has the resources and he goes and does the work. And he does the edit. And he puts the edit back. Let's do this. Let's take a look at one of the ones that are finished. I have a finished section down here. Exact same formatting. You guys are welcome to use this formatting. I don't mind. The task is created. Feedback is given. My lead editor and the editor who's doing this project go back and forth until the project meets my lead editor's standards. Then I am tagged to review the content. That is how I structure it. Now, will this structure exactly work for you? You're gonna have to test it. You're gonna have to play with it. You're gonna have to hire that first editor and work with him. And he's gonna be the one pumping out the content, and you're gonna be the one that's directly giving him feedback. But to be able to give him this feedback, what do you need? You need to be able to know how to edit. You need to know what good edits look like, right? So it all circles back together, guys. All right. If you guys want to learn how to hire an editor, I think you can probably guess what my answer is going to be. How to find and hire a video editor. This is a free video, ecom.live. It's not hard to do. It takes time. There's multiple ways you can hire. You can hire off of Twitter. You can hire off of Upwork. We have gotten great talent from both Twitter and Upwork. I hope this is beneficial for you guys. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through, I'm going to answer a few questions and then we're going to call this good. Feel free to hop in and ask some questions. This is what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope this is valuable for everybody who's watching. Let's take a look at what we have here. Hi, Alex. You said that one each 10 creatives you test actually work, but once you find a winner, how do you actually scale it on Facebook? Good question. How do you scale on Facebook? There's a lot of ways you can scale on Facebook. A lot of ways. And I encourage you, I mean, I'll briefly go over two of the ways I've scaled previously. One of the easiest ways to scale is a CBO campaign, right? CBO campaign, this was testing 2 different landing pages. And this has, as you can, oh, sorry, this is just filtering by this. This has my top performing content in it. What do? You have a piece of content that's performing. Guess what? You want to put more ad spend behind it. That's what you want to do, right? So how do you scale it? You put more ad spend behind it. Now, whether you put more ad spend on the ad set level, whether you put more ad spend, you move it to a CBO and then you put more ad spend there and you mix it with other creatives so you can let Facebook do its, machine learning. That works. Another fantastic way to scale, guys. Advantage Plus. This sucker spent $62,000 at, $25 CPAs, got 2,431 purchases. All I did is put my winning content in here. Hopefully that answers your question there. Is it possible to mass test creative without having a big team behind like you do? Yeah. Like I mentioned, between the years of 2020 and the beginning of 2023, it was your boy who was sitting down with Premiere Pro and editing every single day, multiple pieces of content. I can tell you guys that it's completely possible to edit 3 to 4 pieces of content a day yourself. You can do the math on how many creatives you can test. Should I follow the same structure for organic TikToks? Yes. Let me show you something. TikTok.com/@puprings. You guys are welcome to go check out the TikTok for my brand. Ah, fuck. Do I have to sign in? Continuous guest. I want you to go through here. I want you to actually go through some of the earlier pieces of content, and I want to share with you guys something here. Let's scroll all the way back to my first ever viral video on TikTok, right here. It doesn't have a sound, but it was a voice saying, apparently TikTok can blow up small businesses overnight. And then it had some cool music behind it, right? That's what the video was. This piece of content right here is an inspiration recreation. I saw another small business in 2021 create this on TikTok. I recreated this and it generated 142,000 likes, 2-point-some million views. And back in February of 2021, our business was saved, keyword saved, because that one video generated $23,000 in one day with the 70% margin because it was all organic. So fuck yeah, it can work for TikTok as well. right? The same formula can work for TikTok as well. Organic. I'm just reading the comments. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to answer this question here. If you find a winner, at what point should you start a CBO for TikTok ads? How much, should you start it off with? If you guys only have one piece of content that is working for you, or two pieces of content that is working for you, I would not do anything else than scale them where they lie and continue testing new content. For scaling on a vertical level, you need to have a good amount of content that is going to allow to be able to handle that ad spend, right? And I'm not talking about like, yeah, you can scale. If you have 1-2 winners, I would literally scale them where they lie. If they're in the testing phase, rise the budget in the testing phase. Both of them, just rise the budgets. 20% a day. If one day they don't work, don't freak out. Look, I'm about to blow some of your guys' minds. Look at this. Look at it today. Oh no, this campaign has one purchase at a $65 CPA. Oh no, this campaign here spent $16, no purchase. Look on a blended level, guys. Stop looking on a fucking micro time frame. Yes, this on a blended level is going unprofitable. What does that mean? That means I'm going to kill it. This guy on a blended level is working. This guy on a blended level is going unprofitable. What does that mean? I'm going to kill it. This guy on a blended level is working. But that doesn't mean it's going to work every day. There is going to be days that you're going to have better performance, days you're not going to have any performance. And you need to be able to live with that and build a business that can function regardless of that. Which can go directly into email marketing, SMS marketing, product drops. If we dive into all of this, we're going to be here for hours. And I do have to go create content myself today. But hopefully that enlightens a little bit. Your ROAS looks so low. How can you make it profitable? By exactly what I just said. What matters is not your top of funnel acquisition cost. What matters is your blended acquisition cost. That's what matters. And I'll dive into that a little bit, and then I'll answer one more question, and then I'm gonna call this good. I want you guys all to write down marketing efficiency ratio. MER. You can look it up. You can Google it if you want to go more in depth on that. Your MER is your marketing efficiency ratio. Your marketing efficiency is what is your overall marketing efficiency for your company. Not your ROAS on TikTok, not your ROAS on Facebook, not your ROAS on Google, but your blended ROAS of all of those, plus your revenue that's coming in from emails, plus your revenue that's coming in from product drops, plus your revenue that's coming in from SMS marketing. If you guys have let's just say a $40, let's just say it's super expensive. Let's say $40. Let's say you guys are having a $40 cost per acquisition. This is expensive for me, but for some people it's not that expensive. Let's say you have $40 cost per acquisition where? On Facebook. But now you have a $10 cost per acquisition on Google. And now you have a $0 cost per acquisition from a product drop. Let's say all of these resulted in $10,000 of revenue. If your ad spend, what you need to do is you need to take into consideration this ad spend here, plus the free revenue that came from this, And guess what? Now your marketing efficiency, your MER, instead of being, let's just say that on Facebook, this is a 1.2 ROAS. Let's just say this on Google is let's just say this is I don't know, let's just say a 3 or a 4. So it's a 4 ROAS. And now you have an unlimited ROAS because you're not spending any money on a product drop. When you fucking blend it all, you get your marketing efficiency ratio. And our marketing efficiency ratio is above what we need to make money. That's to answer your question. Okay. I'm going to answer one more question, guys. Again, if you are interested in more stuff like this, you can check out my education platform. This is being built completely ground up with this type of transparent education, ecom.live. You can also hop into the Discord group. I'm active there a lot as well. So yeah, let's hop into one more question, then we're going to call this good. I'm in the process of creating the brand and advertising it on Facebook. How many ads should I test on day one, photo plus video? I would recommend that you do a diverse amount of creative testing. Test things that are different eye candy, that people are going to visually see different. Why? Because in this day and age of a fucking attention span of a squirrel where everybody's scrolling every 2 seconds, you need to be able to stand out. And if you are using the same shots, guys, this all ties together. This is why I don't recommend you steal content from your competitors, because how many other people did that? How many other people are using the exact same footage and showed it to the exact same people? Dude, those people are seeing the same shot. They're scrolling right away. Their thumb is fucking flicking right away. Diverse content is what I would focus on. To answer your question, focus on diverse content that's going to be different, that's going to be visually different, that is using winning variables that other people are using. I hope this was beneficial. I'll put links in the description if you guys want to find out more about everything that I do. And you guys have a good rest of your Thursday. Crush it. Take it easy.